Our Midwest Life. I'm Eric, and I'm here today to talk about how to stake your grapes, your grapevines. So if you haven't seen any of my previous videos, take a look back on my channel. I've got a couple different ones from pruning, and as you can see here, I've got 6 rows of 14 grapes that I'll be staking today. And as I was starting, I noticed bud break, so I'm going to show you a picture of our bud break here. Bud break 2019. Woohoo! We're on the way. So on here, I've got a couple of these already staked, but not tied up. We'll talk about how to tie those up here in just a little bit. But for right now, I'm going to get busy staking these vines so they can grow upright, preferably to about 6 foot this year as I build a trellis around them. Stick with me and hope you enjoy. So what we've got here is, we call them ag ties. They come in a long cable, and the ag ties tie into themselves like that, and that helps you. It helps you train your vines. So this one here I'm going to be bringing over, since it was bent, I'm going to bring it over slowly and get it back up into a straight, training it to grow straight again. That's what I'll be doing with all of these that have been left alone a little bit here. And then you cut off what you aren't going to use here and go on to the next one. So on this one here, I'm just going to hold the support on this one right about here. And I'll find out right here. Don't want to break it, obviously. We'll get the weight up off of that vine and get it over here on this post. I'll show you how here. So that went in. So that holds that base right there. So I'm going to clip this one, and I'm going to bring this one back over. Now for vines that are a little less established or a little younger, a lot easier to work with. If you haven't seen in my previous videos, what I'm doing here is cleaning up the way that I established this vineyard. Normally you wouldn't use this much, normally at all. It would just be right up by the post, but since this started growing like that, I have to train it to come back up and get in line with the rest of them here, and it'll oblige. We just have to get it trained like that. So this one here, I'll show you. The great thing about these ag ties is they're entirely adjustable. So right here, that one's going to grow upright. It'll connect with the post here, and it will straighten out a little bit over time right there, as that's still got more room, but I don't want to push too much on it right now. So I'll be doing that with the rest of these right here. So as you can see, I still got quite a few of these to go. Once I get them staked and pulled back into line here like this with these ag ties, the next step is going to be mowing really close to the vines, keeping them mowed really good throughout the year, because I don't like to put chemicals on them if I can keep from it. That's just me. There will be a time when I may have to spray some 7 or something like that on them. Not too bad, as long as you can do that in the right spraying time frames. So the rest of the items that we're going to be working on here for the rest of the rows, or the rest of the steps here, is to finish out the trellis systems. The single 6-foot high wire. It's a single wire high cordon. So there's one wire in my trellis systems at the top with posts in between. I elected to go with the old school look with the wooden H brackets on the ends for aesthetic pleasure, as well as for my personal preference, as well as they contain a great amount of support for these vines. So over time, as the vines get mature, these little posts right here, these little polymer style posts, they'll be able to go away once that the vines are grown up and I grow them up 6 feet and they tee off. So there's 3 foot on each side, and that's where all the new growth occurs. I trim it up, keep it trimmed up like that, and we'll walk over here and look at how it's supposed to look. That's the standard H bracket posts. You can see here that this system has a wire wrapped around here. There's a metal stake that goes into this post right here. This one is connected to here. Both of these can be ratcheted tighter as needed. They're crimped, and this is a high tensile wire, and so that is the solid base of these the vineyards style for me. Then on the H or on the end parts here, it's pretty easy to train a vine because you got lots to tie to and support and grow those out. Here's one that teed off in the 3 foot. That's a little bit lower than I like, but it still does what I need it to do. Here is a more perfect model right here. This is what I like to see. Having one trunk line up, growing it up over here, over there, and then the new growth comes off of there. So the buds are starting to pop out on us. It's bud break, and pretty soon there'll be buds all over these rascals. And the next thing you know is once those buds start coming out, all of a sudden you've got some green leaves, and the canopy grows and grows and grows and grows, and you wonder, how in the heck can it grow so much in a year's time? But it certainly does. So stick with me, and I will show you throughout the 2019 season what I do, what battles I battle. Hopefully the little beetles don't come and see me again, but I'm sure they will. They love me so much, I'm too sweet. Right here is another bud right there. Hopefully you can see that close up. There's another bud right there that's breaking. And this is one of my favorite times of the year. So I hope that you join me on the journey. If you haven't already, click subscribe, check that notification bell, and I'll let you know when I present the next video. And I'll be trying to keep them as this growing season's starting on us. I'll be trying to keep a weekly video at a minimum, simply because things change so fast. Things are growing so fast. And so here's some more of those beautiful little buds that are popped out. Next will be a little pink to them. The next part will be green, and the next thing you know, there's these big leaves, and you're like, how did that happen overnight? So trust me, I'll be sharing that with you. So until next time, this is Eric with Our Midwest Life. Hope you join me again. Bye.